Yeah, man. How about Marshall, man? Eminem.
Oh, come on. Insane, dramatical genius. I don't think nobody's matching Eminem.
My name is Slim Shady.
I'm the doctor's advocate. Nigga, Trey shot you. Brought me back from the dead. That's why they call him the doctor.
Today I'm going to be talking about Eminem's The Slim Shady LP. And this is part 2 of my Eminem versus the Game. And right off the bat, I'm going to say after listening to Doctor's Advocate several times and listening to the Slim Shady LP just once, there's really no comparison. The Slim Shady LP just comes in with so much more energy and has so many more quality moments. Eminem just has the it factor that the Game doesn't have. I feel like the Game is just doing the traditional of the era West Coast hip hop, and Eminem just has a lot of timeless tracks because he put in things that were unique to him and made songs that only Eminem could have made. I feel like the Game's album could have been made by someone else at that time. But so for the Eminem review, since I took the time to really break down the Slim Shady LP, I'm just going to say right off the bat, I think Eminem is a more timeless artist. Maybe the Game is capable of making a better album in the now, but I'm not going to disrespect Eminem. He has cultivated a lot of great talent, and I feel like the Game hasn't made any albums that stand up to the Slim Shady LP, so I'm going to move on from that part and just address Eminem as with my perspective now, like looking at 1999 Eminem with today's perspective, because back in the day, I grew up in the 90s, so I remember when this album came out, and people were crazy about it. Like, it was playing everywhere. Like, even comparing, My Name Is and One Blood, there's no competition. Like, I love One Blood, but My Name Is just has so much more energy. It's so much more timeless, so. Moving on. First track, PSA. I kind of like the intro that just says the views of this are totally effed and aren't really the views of anyone, just establishing that this is satirical. And the album really is kind of cartoonish. First main song is My Name Is, just simply one of the best intro songs. Just lines like I hung my original self with a belt from the top bunk, talking about killing his true self and putting on this hyper masculine mask, kind of like playing the Joker. And he has this rock star persona for sure. Another great line is I lay in bed with a bulletproof vest and shoot myself in the head. Another great line, each verse just builds perfectly, and the energy is just maintained throughout. Really good boom bap scratch incorporated elements. It's really cool. That track is always gonna slap. It's just really loud too, really loud and clear in the mix. Next song is Guilty Conscience. This is about Eminem is the devil and Dr. Dre is the angel on your shoulders, and it's going through someone robbing a liquor store, and then it's going through someone raping a woman. This is the first mention of Stan. Then a man, and it's pretty messed up that people call Eminem fans Stan, and in the context of his first mention, he's a straight up rapist. And obviously Eminem wants horrific violence. He keeps calling for rape and murder of women, chopping their head off. For the adulterer, that's the third scenario. And this is just kind of a gimmicky track. It keeps it moving though. Into the fourth track, Brain Damage. And this is where it really establishes that Dre cultivated a signature sound for Eminem, and I feel like this carried over into 2001. And I just miss the high-pitched Eminem, how he used to rap, and just being super goofy with a bunch of ad-libs. I feel like he doesn't do that anymore, and he had good hooks about being brain damaged in this song. The next song, Paul, is his lawyer asking him to tone down the materials because he can only explain so much legally. And then the album, I feel hits its low point with If I Had. It has good vocals, and it hits hard when he starts, and there's some spoken word stuff, but it's just a basic loyalty track, and the energy starts to dip. Then we go into 97, Bonnie and Clyde, and it's exactly as the title implies. It's talking about him being Bonnie and Clyde type figure in 1997, and I don't really like this track. The energy is bad, the intro is bad. Into Bitch, it's just another voicemail skit. Into Role Model, and this is a Like, it has a really strong intro, and then it comes in like it's about like drowning yourself, and then his flow is really dope on this. I like his ad-libs. It's like really messed up themes about like people copying him and abusing women and all this stuff. It's wild. And I feel like it encapsulates the energy of this album. The next song, Lounge, is just another skit about a woman overdosing. And leads into My Fault, which is another track I don't really like, about him dealing with a girl who's not being able to handle like a mushroom trip. Then to another skit about like prank calling. A lot of skits, that's the only other negative. And then Come On Everybody is like this double entendre about him like trying to cheer up, and also like obviously about him skeeting everywhere. And my only criticism is this album's kind of hit these low points where it's kind of all over the place. Next song is Rock Bottom, a remix of like Summertime, kind of a dreary like rock remix where they made it even sadder. And I honestly get bored of his flow by this point, and I don't really like people flipping famous songs. I'm of the opinion you should flip like things no one's heard before and like find new beauty to like highlight in music. I feel like there's no point in rehashing the hit songs. Then it goes into Just Don't Give a Fuck, funky beat. His flow's a little different. I like this, good energy. Into another skit that's setting up like this like soap opera skit, or soap opera inspired song about like being suicidal. Another like kind of edgelordy song. And Eminem has always addressed these like traumatic themes, and this is really like the extra that I'm talking about that the game doesn't have. Like, Eminem brings a lot of horrorcore in, and like he's really like this like weird hyper masculine edgelord talking about like Mike Tyson and all this other stuff, raping women, always having these like cartoonish ideas of like what it is to be masculine, taking on this like Joker persona. And I feel like that like extra like really infuses into his character to make him something different. And like in this song, he's just like talking about being a rapist, and it's wild. Just this cartoonish scene of like weirdly like tension and sexual stuff is like really weird, but it's like this it factor that Eminem had. And next song, I'm Shady. It's like this rehash of Curtis Mayfield's Pusher Man, and he's like talking about being this creepy old predator that was molested when he was in preschool, and now he's like selling drugs and to younger kids, and like obviously being a creep. And this is some real shit. He has a line in this that's pretty funny where he says, "I'll listen to your demo tape and act like I don't like it, then 6 months later you'll hear your lyrics on my shit." And that's pretty funny. But yeah, just themes about being the creepy older guy selling drugs to kind of be predatory towards kids. Then we have Bad Meets Evil, which is the track with Royce da 5'9". And there's an interesting line on here where he says, "Put air in a bag and sell it to people." And it's funny because that ended up actually happening. And then we go into the final track, Still Don't Give a Fuck, a nice little outro where he reaffirms his nihilism. And it just kind of leaves me with these thoughts, like it's a good album, a lot of high points. I feel like hip-hop has definitely gotten better over the years. So like the fact that this was like such a standout album at the time really shows that hip-hop has progressed. And I feel like Eminem is really good technical skills. He's really good at addressing trauma in like a unique cartoonish way. But he definitely does like wear that mask of like masculinity, and like he's kind of like this edgelord like troll type figure. So he does like kind of go into his trauma, but he always does it in like a Bugs Bunny gotcha kind of way. So it's a little strange. I feel like he's really good at horrorcore, and it's a little telling of our society that like his brand and of hip-hop is like the highest he is the highest selling rapper of all time, highest selling hip-hop artist. So it's weird that his brand of like nihilistic, hateful, toxic, like cartoonish depictions of humanity is like the most bought into rap and hip-hop in the world. So that's kind of sad, and I feel like people need to kind of reflect on that. It's definitely not, I'm not blaming Eminem in any way. He was just delivering like this crazy horrorcore product, and it's like a reflection of like white poverty, and that's something that's pretty horrific, and not something that's really looked at as like a demographic or explored. So yeah, I feel like as everybody gets broke, these type of messages become more and more clear, and broke white people are pretty terrifying. People that are desperate in any position can be pretty terrifying, but the fact that that music resonates with so many people has been incredible, and that this album is still relevant today is incredible. Hopefully these things within society can get fixed, and Eminem has went through like this kind of like progression in his career with like recovery and relapse and all this stuff, but I feel like this old stuff of his is still his best work, and I feel like that is what got him popular. So I definitely like it for its horrorcore elements. It's very lyrical. Eminem has a good energy, a good production throughout, and I feel like it will be timeless just for how like crazy and like his cartoonish edgelord depictions of these certain scenarios that he goes through. And there will always be creepy dudes that prey on younger women. There will always be rapists. There's always going to be morality issues. So I feel like this is a timeless album, unfortunately.